Christ. They're both about Jesus' last day, but one of them breaks out the song and dance. You know, it's unfortunate. I think that the similarities are too intense to kind of dismiss. To give you an example, I actually went and pitched this idea to the producers of Repossession Mambo 5 years ago, and they said, "We love it. Can you take away the music?" And I said, "No." And then Repossession Mambo, the same exact producers, Repo opera Repossession Mambo. That being said, you know, they say Repossession Mambo is based on a book that's not out yet, so maybe in that sense, there's a song here called "We Started This Opera Shit," and originally had a bunch more kind of slights of them. The first time it was copyrighted was in 1998. I think his book was copyrighted in 2004. So I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really comment on it. I know a lot of crew members here worked on that film as well, because they also shot it in Toronto. I mean, the time will tell, but I think they're two totally different movies. It's like Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Any questions?
On the topic of...
How long has the process been?
Okay, we did that. Okay, we'll go here and then there. So on the topic of?
On the topic of cut footage and material, could we ever see a director's cut of the movie?
I hope so. The original cut, I think the crew members here that will kind of attest to this, the original way it was shot was so much different. It was a much different order. There were songs that have been left out. But again, it's up to you guys. Right now, I'm serious. They don't think an audience exists for this movie. It's just weird. They said it's a weird niche market that, you know, it doesn't warrant. This is just the mainstream. Believes there's not an audience for this, and it's all dictated by you guys. If you prove you exist, hence why people like Satanic got the Repo Army are out there that they do exist. And I'll give you an example. We started in America, in USA, in one city. We were in Los Angeles, and then all of a sudden we got New York, and then a group of fans from Repo Opera did a huge protest down in Austin. We got Austin, and then it kept spreading that way. As long as you make your voice heard, you want to see the director's cut, go buy the DVD when it comes out. Buy the CD. Show up to the movie. Tell your friends about it. Don't download the movie. You know, show up. Let them know. Talk about it on your blogs. Go on IMDb. Again, I don't care if you hate it. Just bash it. Just talk about it. And then things like that will happen. So is there a director's cut? Yes, there is. There's 47 minutes that was cut out of the movie. Something else which is cool to know is the fact that we shot this with less money than we did the Saw films. Which in Saw movies are really low budget. We did this in 30 days. We were averaging 3 songs a day. Which again, if you go watch Moulin Rouge and watch the behind the scenes, they're doing a song every week and a half, every 2 weeks. We're doing 3 songs a day. So we have a lot of material that's left out and kind of for some of it, which is sad, was against green screens, and we just didn't have the resources to finish it. I want to also give a shout out to Switch VFX, where I know some of them were in the house, that made you guys look like we had a lot of money. When really we had pennies. Switch VFX came in and did all the green screen and all of that stuff, which I think looks incredible.
So question over here, you started off.
How long did it take from when you first started writing the script to actually getting it on the screen? How long did that take?
8 years. I mean, I got involved in this thing 8 years ago. I came on board in 2001, 2002. Terrence, again, 98. But it's been a constant battle. I mean, seriously, when I did Saw 2 opens #1, I think I'm golden. They say, you can do anything you want. And so I go and I say, great, I want to do a movie about this organ repo man. They're like, great, we love it. I'm like, can you repossess his organs? And they're like, we love it. And I'm like, and he sings. And they're like, out of the office. So Saw 3 comes out. Saw 3 is a massive hit. Does very well. They go, Darren, anything you want to do. And I go back in and I was like, guys, organ repo is stopping. Get out of the office. We're doing Saw 4. And then finally, again, we shot a 10-minute short film here in Toronto in the same place where the movie was shot, which showcased Nitrate Anatomy, 21st Century Cure. And we took that into the producers and said, here's what we want to make.
And you did that all with people donating their time?
All the way here, yeah, the same thing. It's one of the greatest things and why we keep coming back to Toronto is the crew. Here I am, basically made a plea to the crew and said, guys, I don't have any money. Please come work for me and do this thing as a favor. And it was insane to see that you had a crew of, I don't know, 75 people on the short film, 50 people on the short film that came out and donated their time and energy and money, and because of that, we got Repo made. So. One more question? Yeah, these two, please, last two. Yes,
yeah, we'll take a couple more. Go ahead.
Was there ever a situation where the creation of the music influenced the story?
Completely. First off, I think one thing that's kind of a hard thing to realize when you're watching the movie. This is the most complex thing I've ever done, and probably ever will do in the fact of the technical side. We had to record the music 3 months before the movie ever came to Toronto. So we were in a recording studio 3 months prior. And that might not seem like a big deal, but when you think about it, Shiloh's song 17. That song had to be completely thought out before we ever went to the recording studio, because how she sang it would dictate how we actually shot the scenes. So I meet Sarah Brightman for 1 day, and she has to know how she's going to sing every single song in the movie. You know, Anthony Stewart Head comes in for 1 day. We talk. He has to act out his entire movie. Act out the entire movie. Now we get on set. Let's say an idea. Let's say, oh, wouldn't it be great if? But we can't. We're stuck where the music was. He can't change timing. He can't change his inflection of his words. However, we recorded it 3 months ago is how the whole movie has to be done. In some respects, the movie was kind of done with the time we left the recording studio. We couldn't really move around and experiment with Saul. You know, I had no idea what I was doing. I'd be like, today let's shoot this, and I completely change it. With Repo, we didn't have that flexibility. It was locked in by the music. So the music dictated everything.
Last question. Last question right here. You got a question? It's the last one.
It better be good. No
Make it
problem.
big.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Repo, you know, my life. You know what it's like to me? When someone tells you you can't do something, it's like, fuck you guys, I'll show you I can do it. When I first showed the movie, I'll never forget this day. I first showed the movie to a bunch of people, and I was actually told, we're going straight to video with this. And I said, what do you mean you're going straight to video? And they said, you will be laughed at if you show this to an audience. You will be embarrassed. And these are my representative at the time. Darren, you will be laughed at.
At the time.
Yeah, I know.
No longer your
Well,
representative.
some of them are. But they actually said, you will be laughed at. People will laugh at you. This will kill your career. I have burned bridges. I have sacrificed relationships over this. I have lost people near and dear to me. I have turned my back on some of my best friends because I believe in this movie so much. And you know what? We just got off the 7-city road tour, where we didn't sleep at all. We went to 7 cities in 7 nights, and we financed it. We are now going on another road tour, and I will continually do this until this movie succeeds. If it takes 2 months or 2 years, I'm not giving up on this. One last thing. First off, I want to thank everyone that made this happen and came out here tonight. I encourage you guys to check out the website, Repo-Opera, join the community, become like Satanica, be a member of that Repo army. But here's, I'm going to end it by this, why I think this movie is important, and why, again, I hope you guys talk about it. When I was in high school, I was the complete biggest dork in the world. I was beat up. I was that guy that I was bad at sports, bad at school, and all of a sudden I joined theater. And when I went to theater, they introduced me to Rocky Horror. What I'm saying is that here's a community that embraced being weird. I saw fat kids in spandex bodysuits with their fat hanging out, and they weren't laughed at. I saw boys wearing makeup and dresses, and they were embraced. And that is what I'm starting to see here right now, and that's why it's important this movie does succeed, it does continue. It's okay to be different, it's okay to be weird, it's okay to not conform. And are we Saul? Absolutely not. Are we a mainstream movie? Absolutely not, but I wouldn't change it at all. So thank you guys so much.